Hello, welcome to a new Duranie distraction. Huge, massive excitement I am filled with. I can barely stand it, which is why I'm sitting down. This is a really special distraction, and I cannot wait to share this with you and dive right into it. So glad to have you guys here. It's raining and moody and gray and restless outside, but we are inside and just snuggling up together in a really wonderful connection across the miles. Oh, I can just feel it. Most of my limbs have lost feeling, which usually happens towards the end of the distraction, but I am just like, I'm so overwhelmed with so much excitement. Why am I still talking and not diving into anything? Okay, first, self-affirmation, right? Find your personal space. Focus on breathing. Okay, here we go. I am good enough. I am smart enough. And gosh darn it, it's okay if I only use one hand for mine. Okay, there we go. So, we are ready to dive into this. Huge kudos and respect to Christine. She did the amazing set design again behind us. She actually handcrafted these little splashes of color in the candle holders back here. And we have the Roger Taylor Funko here and all kinds of warm, tingly vibes going out to you guys. Hugs are right there for you guys to get as soon as you come in. So just like before, feel free to grab your hug and grab a seat. So exciting. Okay, this is the ground that cannot be shaken. This is Sir Froggy of Barnacle. This is Roger Taylor, turning 60. It's a big number, but he looks fabulous, and tomorrow it's going to be an endless stream of celebration, and I look forward to seeing all the fun rejoicing. Today we're doing a little bit early. This is a very special Duranie distraction. Let's just get right into it. One of the things that is so special is I won't be talking, hopefully, too much. It'll be reading your guys' memories and using your guys' voices to celebrate this man. So I just hope I don't completely lose it. I mean, it's really, it all kinds of feels really special. Thank you to everyone who submitted memories and reflections. I wish I could read them all. We'll see how this goes. Okay. We'll start off with, this is so exciting. Okay, we'll start off with shots of Roger in the very beginning. Look at this. This is Roger Andrew Taylor, born in Castle Bromwich, 1960, I believe. Yes. Okay, we are going to start off with a memory from a Canadian Duranie, Sandra Diaz. Her memory is from October 22nd, 2011, Windsor, Ontario, Canada, to set the stage. My first time having a front row ticket to see Duran Duran in concert, and they were in my town where I live. I made a poster that said, I have waited 30 years to see Roger and John up close and personal. My seat was right in the middle, facing Simon and Roger. My feelings were all over the place because this was my moment to have any interaction maybe with the band. At the end of the show, the band came in front of me and I held my poster in case Roger would see me. Then Dom elbowed Roger and pointed at my sign. Roger saw me and took a few steps towards me and handed me his drumsticks. I just need to take a moment, let that sink in. My feelings and emotions at that moment were shocked, happy, and overwhelmed because Roger actually acknowledged me and interacted with me for those few seconds. I'll always remember that night and never forget it. I'm feeling that one. A couple things I just want to mention. First of all, what might seem like a few seconds that are not out of the ordinary for the band, meeting a fan, those seconds can linger forever for fans. And that's something that's never really lost out of, I always keep that in mind. And I hope the band does too. It's incredibly powerful, so that's so special. And any fan who goes that extra distance to actually design a poster, taking time out and creativity, that's really cool. So I just love hearing about that. And then, of course, Dom elbowing Roger, right? You know, Duran members kind of, hey, check this out. That's kind of cool. So thanks for that, Dom. But that is, oh, that's so special. Okay, oh my gosh. So happy for you, Sandra, that you enjoyed that. Okay. Here's some more Roger. And that's one that is horizontal. Okay. The next memory is from Inga Heimisdottir. I have a few Duranie moments through the years. One of those is seeing Roger behind the drums on the Perfect Day video. Yes. It gave me hope that he might come back. And then a dopey moment. I was inside some shop on Oxford Street and saw him walking by. I just ran to the other corner exit and came out just as he walked by. He smiled at me. I mean, it can be just that simple, that supposedly seemingly tiny. And boy, does that carry an impact. That's so cool, Inga. Oh my gosh. And yeah, remember when you saw Roger on the Perfect Day video? Oh my God, that was just like, what? That was so exciting. That was definitely unexpected. Oh, I have all the tingles. Oh my gosh. Going into later years, Roger Taylor, 1984. Okay, this is from Madison Holloman. Special love to her. She is compiling all these videos, putting it on YouTube. She's a fantastic fan and dear friend. Okay, you guys are all awesome friends. Okay, October 14th, 2011, at the Chastain Park Amphitheater in Atlanta. That's the setting for her meeting with Roger. He was so nice. I thanked him for years of music and for recently DJing in the DDU, Duran Duran universe, in Second Life. He lit up and said, I didn't really know what I was doing. I'd kept flying around and bumping into things, but his music was great and we all had a great time in the world. Oh, that reminds me when my little foray into Second Life. I basically just stayed behind a couch or something in a room somewhere. I had no idea what I was doing. But that's so fun that there's a little interaction with Roger in Second Life. That's so good. And the band have really taken chances to interact with fans that way. Second Life was really extraordinary. Way to go, Madison. That's really special. That's really cool. From Sherry Cronin Wilson. She is a Roger girl. I'm a Roger girl. Although not the most social of the boys, he's never turned me down for photo ops. Happy birthday, Roger. That's so cool. Roger, that's one thing, that's a theme that I've seen in a lot of these memories. Roger is just, he has this stroke of kindness that runs right through him. Every interaction seems to be an amazingly positive one. Such a sweet soul. Okay, oh, Roger in shorts. Very cool. Love it when he smiles. Okay. Shannon Udell. I had the pleasure of being able to see Roger DJ twice at the Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida. The first time, his lovely wife even came to see him perform, and it was about this time of year. My friend Rebecca and I were on the elevator with him, Gazella and the bodyguard, as we all rode up to our rooms that we found out were on the same floor. On the elevator with Roger, Gazella, and the bodyguard. Whoa. We think he thought we were following him, but it was just fate. Can't wait till Duran tours again. Hashtag Duranies rule! That's so cool. On the elevator. I've heard stories about that. Ending up on the elevator with the band. Talk about uplifting. Wow. That's... okay. And Julie Abraham writes, I was sad when he left the band, but I understood that he needed to take care of himself and rest. Now I'm glad he did. His resting paid off, and he's more amazeballs than ever. Totally. Oh, you've always had a good heart for all the softer, more sensitive side of things. That's really cool. That was really sad when he left the band. I think everybody was feeling it. Okay. Now, in some of these books, I'm going to be going over pinups that aren't just Roger, because there certainly wasn't enough Roger that was produced by magazines, so we all felt that deficit, right? But it'll be kind of fun, because we're going through pictures of the band, and suddenly, oh my God, there's Roger! Oh, no! So, feel free to point him out, do a little dance, let out a little shriek. Feel free to do that. Okay. It's a great shot of Roger there. And that's horizontal. Okay. It's so cool. It's so meaningful. Catherine Wright writes, Roger has reignited my desire to learn the drums. He is also a real gentleman in an industry full of temptation, high spirits, and low company. I admire his quiet integrity and gentle spirit, as well as his musical talent. Very sweet. I absolutely agree with you. I've heard actually and met a lot of fans who have learned the drums or become musicians because of the bands, and Roger certainly. I just love watching, fans, people playing drums. I mean, when Roger's behind the drum set, can't take my eyes off of him. And here he is behind the drums. That's so cool. Kathy Cash Angwin writes, Happy birthday to the one that, when he beats with the rhythm of his drums, my heart beats along in time. Brings back memories of when I was younger and hearing them. Just a glimpse of him in a video, I would catch myself smiling and giggling. I still do it now, almost some 30-odd years later. Bump, bump, thump, thump. Happy birthday, Roger! Very cute. That's so cute. Okay. Carrie Bliss writes, After all this time, I still haven't met him, but he is my favorite drummer. Sometimes it doesn't need to be this big, huge, detailed memory. It's just simply speaking from the heart. And that is using every ventricle. Way to go, Carrie. That's so sweet. I do hope you get to meet him when they finally go on tour. Okay. Great one. Look at this. Great couple. The next memory is from Jen Walsh. Huge, raging Roger girl. She titles this, 60 is Sexy. I think that says volumes. During the RCM tour, I joined some friends at the Seattle meet and greet. I was on cloud 9 as we got closer to the backstage room. I almost missed Roger walking around us to a room across the hall. My friends had to nudge me because I was stunned. I remember this. In the room, after coming out of my deer in headlights stare and picking my jaw up off the ground, I shook the band's hands, introduced myself, and got almost all of their autographs. I tried to contain myself as I approached my dream man and drumming inspiration, hand outstretched. He apologized and said, I'm sorry about my hands, they need lotion. As I melted, I pepped up and in a high-pitched, teeny-bopper voice said, of all things, that's okay, I have silver Sharpie on mine. Again. Oh, we're back. We're back! Okay. So, the only thing I ever said to my idol is something about markers on my hand. LOL, I roll! For the Paper Gods tour, Jen goes on to say, I had third-row seats and a painted cloth sign that said, Roger, stick it to me! Luckily, Simon came over and read it and pointed to it. I think John let Roger know, and he tossed a stick over to me after the song. I think I slept with it, but now it is in a shadow box. I love that man. Way to go, Jen. That's quite a memory. Okay. Roger playing guitar. That's kind of cool. And then, of course, behind the drums. Roger Raja writes in from Borneo. That's the distance away. He says, "Hi, Roger. Have a great birthday. Stay safe. And thank you for the music from a Duranie on the other side of the world." So sweet. Way to go, Roger. Fellow Duranie dude from Borneo. Keep that flame burning over there. And Debbie Rolf Umel. Okay, this is a really, really sweet memory. A big one, and I'm going to really enjoy reading this. This is cool. She talks about how she started playing the drums at age 13 after seeing Roger in the Girls on Film video. The setting for her memory is April 1st, 2005, and the Agganis Arena in Boston, Massachusetts. In the 5th row center, her husband holds up the sign, "Roger, it's our 7th wedding anniversary, and all my wife wants is your stick." She had to be clever. So I noticed John squinting to read the sign, and then saw him throw his head back and laugh. I thought, OMG, he's going to tell Roger! So they come back out to do their encore, and at the end, Roger points the sticks at us. Everyone around us is going crazy. He tosses them. My hubby dives for it, catches it, but a woman next to us grabbed it out of his hand and wouldn't give it back. She was like, "Too bad." Everyone around us was yelling at her, and I noticed in her hand that Roger even signed the stick and wrote, "Happy Anniversary." Afterward, my Duranie friend Alina emailed Caddy about the situation. Caddy shared the story with Roger, and he told her he was so disappointed to hear that someone did that. So Raj sent us a sweet message and mailed me 2 signed sticks. Roger is such a beautiful human with a heart of gold. So glad that story has a happy ending. And then I'm going to share just the end of a little poem that she wrote to Roger. So sweet. "That young girl is now gone, and now I am grown. All these years have gone by as I still sit at my throne. I want you to know how you've changed my life, even if I never got the chance to be your wife. Your smile and your face still lights up a room, but your hands and your sticks make the most mighty boom. For you're my inspiration and have been since way back then. Thank you for saving my life, and I love you, my friend." Debbie, the lump in my throat is definitely there. I'm getting all the feels. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's beautiful. Whew. I think we need some more visuals after that. That's beautiful. Okay. So now we're off to Norway. Teresa Eikum shared her story. Taking place on June 28th, 2019. Me and my husband Runa had so much fun when Duran Duran played at Tinderbox Festival in Denmark last summer. We met up with Sten, Anita, and a couple other Danish Duranis, as well as Kim Gallagher and Michelle Cooper. At the end of the concert, the band stood at the front of the stage, receiving cheers and applaud from the crowd. We stood over at John's side, and when the band lined up stage front, Roger stood at the end of the line towards us. Kim did a great job catching Roger's attention, asking for his drumsticks. She'd been lucky in Iceland, getting one of his drumsticks there. Now he recognized her, tapped one of the security guards on the shoulder, pointing right at us with his sticks. The security guard took the sticks and walked over to us, handing them to us. Wow. And Kim was very kind to give me one of them, as I have never been fortunate enough to get my hands on anything from a show before. So much love to Kim, and a very happy birthday to Roger. Oh, that kind of thoughtfulness is rampant within the Duranie fan community. Way to go, Teresa. Awesome job, Kim. That's so sweet and heartwarming. Love seeing all of us being there for each other. Really cool. That was really sweet. And some sweetness needs to be followed by more sweetness. Roger Taylor, baby. Denise Kelly Crow. She chimes in, Roger has been my #1 since I fell in love with Duran in the 7th grade. He's always been kind and very sweet to all of us as fans, and he will always have a special place in my heart. Roger, happy birthday! I felt that. That's so cool. I'm just imagining she danced as she wrote that too. Did a little, yeah, that's cool. Thank you, Denise. Okay, Michelle Vickers Troncoso. I'm definitely a Roger girl. Have been for 35 plus years. He's a great drummer and just seems so down to earth and nice. I would like to meet him one day. Happy 60th birthday, Roger. Wishing you many more. Aww, so cool. Happy birthday, Roger. Thanks so much, Michelle. Okay. Here's a little John with a little bit of Roger. Stephanie Peel writes in, I wish him a very happy birthday and look forward to seeing him and the guys performing. As a kid, Duran made me feel special, and I love the music. Simple, profound, straightforward, awesome. Thanks so much, Stephanie. Yeah, I think Duran made all of us feel special, and the music just wraps around us like a security blanket. Teresa Mehar writes in, I love Roger's drumming on Careless Memories Live. I'd like to thank him for being true to the music. That's a really cool way of putting it. Yeah, he is as true blue as it comes. Okay. So then, okay, so there's a little bit of John. And we're going to move to another book where there's more Roger waiting for us. Okay. So this is going to be a mixed bag. You're going to find Roger in the most random places in here, and you can just rejoice with me when we find him. It's kind of like finding a little bit of gooey chocolate and, you know, your favorite ice cream. It's like, oh, just a little surprise. Okay, that was weird. So, Laura Muther Schifferdecker writes, this is a memory from the astronaut tour. We followed the band to the Ritz-Carlton in Clayton, Missouri after the show. While I parked my car, the kids watched in amazement while the band pulled up in older black Broncos. Yeah, right next to their car. Obviously not to be conspicuous. I, of course, missed all the hubbub. I was parking the car. So much happened that night at the Ritz, but I fast forward to the bar. My son, who wasn't even 3 years old, was walking through the bar with a highball glass full of water, acting like he owned the place, wearing his Simon, John, Nick, Roger, and Andy shirt proudly. When who does he see sitting at the bar? Roger Taylor. Roger frickin' Taylor. I put the frickin' in there. My son walked right up to him and said hi. Roger proceeded to pick him up and sit him on his lap. I was in a daze. It was surreal. So my 2.5-year-old, very charismatic kid sat on Roger Taylor's lap and had a conversation. I just stood in awe of the whole experience. Still to this day, I have no clue what they chatted about. Oh, somehow it just makes me wish I was smaller. Okay. Oh, I haven't shown you guys. It's kind of fun artwork. Okay. And you can see Roger on the staircase. I do not believe it was his last chance on the stairway, though. Okay. Cindy Chrismon writes in, seeing Roger in the Planet Earth video for the first time and every time since. That's her memory. So stunning. I still want a giant mural of him on my wall, laying back in those blue-silver clouds. You know, I look up at the sky sometimes, and especially at night, and when the moon is full, I can still see Roger's face. Like, you know, the clouds are perfectly reflecting the light. I totally see that myself. great memory that every Duranie can relate to. Very cool. Ah, more Roger. And a John. Marlo Nielsen writes in with her memory from December 2011. She went to Cardiff, Wales to see the band for a once-in-a-lifetime experience. We were fortunate enough to have a backstage tour, as well as a meet and greet prior to the show. When it came time for the meet and greet, we were told we could do our own photos and have a chat with each band member and get an autograph. Roger was the last one I got to speak with. I told him I was so happy to talk with him, and we'd come all the way from Canada for the show. He asked where in Canada I was from, and I asked him how his young son and wife were doing. At the time, he said his boy had a cold, but was doing okay, and he told me he was so impressed we'd come from so far away. I posed for a photo with him, and it's one of my favorite photos ever taken. We had front row center seats for the show, which was totally amazing, and at the end, of course, Roger came down to toss out his drumsticks. I waved and smiled, and he smiled back and tossed them right down to me. They just missed my hands, and another man grabbed one while the other fell to the floor behind the barricade. The security guy knew it was meant for me and handed it to me. And in that moment, the big bucket list item I had on my Duran Duran must-do list was fulfilled. I stood there clutching the drumstick and had a few tears, and it was one of the purest moments of joy I'd ever had in my life. That day in Wales was a day I will never, ever, ever forget. Oh, that's so sweet. More Roger! Christine Fimbel writes in, Roger has been the steady heartbeat, drumbeat, to an amazing band that has been a cornerstone to many of our lives over the years. Thank you, and happy birthday to a special and so talented person. We love you, Roger. Jason Lent writes in, awesome DJ. I always remember how sad I was when Roger left, as I felt he was the glue that held the band together between the Nick and Simon side and the John and Andy side. But there's a scene in Sing Blue Silver in the back of a limo where he looks so emotionally drained that I was also happy he left. Having him back is probably my favorite part of being a Duranie today. That's very raw and real. Very cool, Jason. I completely agree with you. You took a lot out of him back then. Chrissy Anderson Peters writes with a memory from Austin, Texas. I remember this is from 2014. I remember seeing Roger at the big Grand Prix race the day after the concert there. I saw him walking by where I was waiting for my friend Bev outside a souvenir tent. I'd met him at the MoMA event in New York the year before, but didn't get my photo with him, so he was my missing band member picture. I called out Roger's name, and he and Dom and the two guys walking with him turned around. I asked if I could get a quick selfie, and initially he looked at the other guys, and I just knew he was going to say no, and he had every right. He was totally off the Duran clock, having fun on his own time. Dom and one of the other guys nodded and walked ahead. The guy with Roger smiled and said, "We have time," and even took the picture for us. Yet again, I was struck by the generosity and graciousness of my favorite band, but even more so this time, as this event had nothing whatsoever to do with the band or the fans. Roger took time out of his own personal time to make that photo happen for me. That's really, really sweet. That's a great memory and reflection, and you're totally right, Chrissy. Okay. Debbie Cruz writes, Roger was like the shadow on my side growing up. He was wallpapered all over my room with the rest of the guys, but being the strong, silent type, he was adored in a softer, quieter way. I watched him evolve with the band. I remember being upset as a young girl when he got married, thinking, oh God, is Simon next? Being a total Simonaholic. But I also loved being able to see the pictures of it and thought they were so beautiful. Knowing how Roger didn't like the limelight, I was incredibly glad he shared those pictures with his fans. At that time in my life, I was like a little sponge for any bit of Durant information, memorabilia, pictures, etc. I could find. Roger was 1/5 of the greatest memories of my teenage years. Happy birthday, Roger. So sweet. Please. The next memory is from Michelle Garrow. It was 1984. I was 13. I was drawn and attracted to Roger simply because he was a mystery, hidden behind his drum kit. I found him extremely attractive, and still do. I remember watching our Aussie music show, Countdown, and Molly Meldrum announced the nuptials of Roger to Giovanna. Then they played New Moon on Monday. I remember running into my bedroom and bawling my eyes out. So sad I didn't get a chance to meet him and marry him first. Every time I hear New Moon on Monday, it reminds me of that day. Of course, the highlight of my Durant life was getting to hold his drumstick after their last concert in Brisbane back in 2011. Unfortunately, I didn't catch it and had to give it back after the photo. Happy birthday, Roger. I will always have a place in my heart for you, and I love you. I felt that one. Linda Jones Greenberg writes in next. She's a huge Roger fan. That is horizontal. My most exciting Roger moment comes on April 26th every year. I had the pleasure of being born on Roger's birthday. Oh my gosh, happy pre-birthday, Linda. So imagine that Duranie shriek when I found that little fact out. Every year since I was 13, I've had the pleasure of celebrating double the Durantastic excitement. It's notorious! Very cool. Definitely are fans out there who share the birthday with Raj. That's so cool. Okay. It's a little mini magazine here. Okay. Justine Owls in Canada writes, for me, when Roger left, Durant were never able to fully replace or replicate what he and John have together as the band's rhythm section. He is so much more confident and outgoing now, and I love catching glimpses of what I suspect is a wicked sense of humor. I'm glad he's back. It wasn't the same without him. Very, very sweet. And we have Catherine Harkness weighing in. The one thing I have always felt is that Roger as a drummer is totally underrated. When people realize that back in the day, when Durant would make those extended version albums, Roger would have to play flawlessly for every recording. Not a lot of drummers nowadays, I feel, could pull off half of what Roger did. I am beyond happy he came back to the band and can't wait to see what he and the band have to offer us for the new album. Oh, some good photo sessions here. Lynn Gulson Quaremba writes about a memory from August 25th, 2004. My encounter with Roger occurred when I met the whole band at the Melbourne airport. I found him to be the most humble, down-to-earth member of the band. It was like chatting to your neighbor. He signed the cover of my Sing Blue Silver DVD. Oh, fantastic. Congratulations on that. Very, very cool. Okay, we are at the tail end of our first part. We have so many more memories to go, but I will just say this is so special to share this with you, and I hope you can all join me in a real quick happy birthday, okay? On the count of 3, wherever you are, you can sing with me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Roger, you fabulously amazing, sexy, talented drummer. Oh my God, we love you. Happy birthday to you. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be back with more visuals, more memories, and more feels. Love you guys. Happy birthday, Raj.